Hello guys, good evening and welcome to League Racing TV for the final round of the TTML Formula 3 season here in Abu Dhabi. We're going to be racing at the Yas Marina circuit tonight, 5.5 kilometer circuit with 16 corners, 2 DRS zones and plenty of overtaking opportunities. I'm going to be taking you through the action. My name is Ivor Bryn Mike, and joining me in the comments box is Storm King. Storm, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me for another race in TTML. The season finale in Abu Dhabi, and what a perfect way to end what has been a fantastic season in Formula 3 with CR7 taking the championship quite comfortable as well. So I think this may just be a race where we just see a few drivers just, go for the final points they need to get themselves up the order in that championship.
Yep, and speaking of the championship, I'm going to quickly run through it. So CR7, as you mentioned, the Formula 3 champion, currently sitting on a huge 100-point margin right now. He has 237 points for his name. Wesker in second place. It looks pretty comfortable for Wesker being in second place, so he'll probably end up retaining that second place here tonight as he is on 137 points. Yaham in third, who is on 115 points, with NSR Giles, who is not here tonight, on 106, and that's going to put a little bit of pressure because the man in fifth is here tonight, and that is Legend on 93 points. Scuba, who's also here, in 6th place on 86 points, and Yogi on 84. Stevie G in 8th place on 80 points. Lemon, who isn't here, also on 80 points. Mad Jonas, who isn't here, also on 80 points. A Pewley Boy is on 59 points, and honestly, when it comes to the battles in terms of the championship, we're really looking at this battle between Legend, Scuba, Yogi and Stevie G. Obviously, only 12 drivers here tonight. Gonna be difficult to really outscore people with the limited numbers we have in attendance here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the limited numbers, as you mentioned, unfortunately, I think it will still offer some great racing. I know Abu Dhabi can sometimes, some people may say, oh, well, it's kind of a boring track, but they are going to they are updating it, should I say. It won't be obviously on this game, but hopefully on the new game it will be. I don't know what part of the track they are reconfiguring, but it is nonetheless a great track. It has, I believe, quite a long DRS straight, so we should see some overtaking done there when the DRS does open in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. As also looking at another interesting battle in terms of the constructors. Obviously, Red Bull absolutely stormed away to the constructors championship, sitting on 323 points. Aston Martin on 166, with Mercedes on 145, and AlphaTauri on 144, so only 1 point separating the Mercs and the AlphaTauri. So that's going to be an interesting battle between those two constructors, and really that is all that is really there to fight for, as I'm on board with TTG Waffles, who's going to get us underway for a lap here in Abu Dhabi. So breaking down into turn 1, taking a bit of the inside curve, getting on the exit curve there as we go through turn 3, and he's absolutely lost it and he's in the wall immediately.
Yeah, I think the first couple of turns in Abu Dhabi can be quite tricky. I believe turn 2 and turn 3 is quite crucial, as the Aston Martin driver has already found out. It's quite interesting. A few of the drivers have opted for the medium compound, so I'm going to throw this one over to yourself. For qualifying in Abu Dhabi, would you want to start on the soft or the medium compound tire to do your runs?
I mean, here's the thing, with only 12 people in the lobby, I would have thought I would have seen more people on the medium compounds, just because of the fact that there's 12 people in the lobby, and you have a better chance of qualifying in the top 10 on the mediums with a depleted grid here tonight. But I'm currently on board with Stevie G, who has managed to keep it out of the wall so far, as he has just broken down into turn 6 and 7, where we saw a few years ago Hulkenberg up on his roof hanging like a cow, as he said in that race a few seasons back.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Hulkenberg. Yeah, and I think also last time we raced here, obviously I don't believe we've had a 2020 Grand Prix here, but I think the race for Perez was a very good race here, as his team leader said it was one of the best moves he had made in his career. I believe it was overtaking Lando Norris, so that's definitely going to be an interesting one to see what the Aston Martin team can do. Obviously, back then was Racing Point, but now rebranded as Aston Martin.
Yeah, but has seen a lot of invalidations coming in, as we got Dylan, who's going to be the first man to actually get to the line on a valid lap. I believe we just seen Yogi there crash out in the final sector, and Dylan 35.6, not a bad lap there to get in the way there for Dylan. But here comes CR7, the championship winner, and he absolutely smashes it by 0.8 of a second. So CR7 just showing once again why he is the champion here in Formula 3.
Yeah, and I think tonight will just, if whoever finishes on the podium, obviously we can't say who that is at the moment because obviously we're still in qualifying. I just wonder if the drivers who do get on the podium, because I don't think anyone will match CR7. He's just been absolutely unbelievable in Formula 3, but it may just set them up for next season if they are in Formula 3 again, to go, well, we got a podium on the last race, let's build on that momentum, let's come back in the new season, which will be, I'm sure, in a few weeks' time, and then they can build on from this season and really try and go even further in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. You always want to end your season on a high
note.
You don't really want to have a poor final season because you get a little bit demoralised going into the brand new season, which I believe is not next week, but the week after. So we got a fortnight until we go again in TTML. As Yaham comes into the pits, looking for someone who is on a flying lap. Legend and Poldy, I believe, on cool down laps, and they're going to be boxing at the end of their respective laps, as we got Waffles, who also lost it in turns 2, and he's going to be open not to do that this time. But yeah, as you said, you do want to end your season on a high note. You don't really want to be going in to the new season demoralised after a DNF or dropping a huge amount of positions.
Yeah, and I think also it brings up the other question of maybe these drivers want to put in a good result tonight, because some of these drivers may not even be in F3 next year. They may be dropped down to F4, so they may want to just have a really good last race to go to the admins. Well, hey, I had a good season end. I think I can progress maybe further up the championship next season if I am in F3.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, isn't it? Like, obviously, a strong final race of the season is definitely going to help your confidence going into the new season. You do want to kind of look ahead. I don't think anyone's going to be looking behind towards F4. I think everyone really wants to kind of push on to F2. Maybe even F1. I mean, CR7 definitely has the pace to be in F1, I think. So maybe he's already looking past F2. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see as we have Waffles on the rundown into turn 6 now, breaking at the 100 into second gear, and he gets onto that inside curve in turn 7, and it bumps him slightly off track, but fortunately for him, it's still a valid lap so far.
Yeah, and I'm just riding on board with Stevie G. I noticed that Stevie G was using his teammate as a slipstream down that DRS straight, so it's going to be interesting what time he can set on their medium tyres, as he had the DRS from, well, the DRS and the slipstream from his teammate. So this is going to be an interesting lap.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously in that very close battle between Scuba, Legend, and Stevie, it is gonna matter, but also for Mercedes as well, they're gonna want to try and take the fight to Aston Martin, because it's still possible that they can outscore Aston Martin to get second in the constructors, but it is pretty unlikely with the 21-point gap that Aston Martin currently have. And you see that slipstream, it's definitely up Stevie G, because he is up there in P4 right now.
Yeah, and I think that with the Aston Martin situation, Waffles is going to have to kind of get some points, because I think we've only really seen him score maybe once or twice this season. Obviously, you've been here all season, I haven't, but yeah, I think it's going to be not such a snooze fest race, because there's still fights in the championship, but I don't think it'll be a very high competitive, because it's just going to be a battle for P2 and P3, because we know CR7 is just going to pull away from that start, and once he gets that gap, I don't think anybody is going to catch him.
Yeah, I mean, for CR7 is, unless CR7 makes a mistake, and trust me, around Abu Dhabi it is very possible to be making those mistakes. I mean, we see it right there. CR7, he's 6 tenths clear, and he's on the medium compound tyres. Like that is stupid pace, and he is honestly, he's going to be the favourite to go and win tonight. And possibly, when you look at the guys who may be moving up a division next season, he's going to be top of that list to be moved up 100%.
Yeah, I just another thing. Looking at this, maybe next season, because I think Wesker is P2 in the championship, so he's probably looking at this and relishing the chance of maybe actually winning the championship next season, because CR7 won't be there. So he may just want to make a claim tonight and get a strong position. He is currently P3 at the moment in qualifying with 7 minutes left on the clock. He is with a 135.8. He's around about 2 tenths off of NLR Dillon, who is in the Alpine.
The issue is for Wesker and Dillon, as Scuba they pops up in the second on a 35.2. The issue is they are only a fraction quicker than the medium runners behind them. That's going to be a little bit concerning for both Wesker, as Dillon has actually improved to a 35 flat, so I mean he's responded very well. We got Wesker now coming for the final corner. Is he going to find some time? He does find half a tenth, and it does improve him ahead of Scuba. So that's kind of better than what we were seeing from Wesker and Dillon in terms of the lap times, because they would have been under pressure from the medium runners. But if you're a CR7, why would you go back out?
Well, exactly. And I think, it just shows the pace that he has to even set that time on the medium compound tyre. And I just wonder if Scuba's lap, he set it a little bit too early, because he was second and now he's dropped to 4. So he's definitely going to have to go on another run if he wants to make it a Red Bull 1-2.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously for Scuba tonight, it is all about if he can get P4 in the championship. He's currently on 86 points. He is 7 points behind the Legend, who is in the Mercedes here tonight. Very possible to outscore him by 7 points around a track like this. And with NSR Gales not here, 20 points is needed from Scuba to jump NSR Gales, which once again is possible because he is not here.
Yeah, I just was riding on board with Scuba, and one of the final corners, he did have a spin. Oh, Stevie G has retired. Is that in the pits?
It is. Yes, it's in the pits.
Yeah, and I believe there's only now 2 drivers on the track, which is an Aston Martin, which it's not Waffles, it's Wesker, and there is he's in the pits. So one lonely Mercedes is on track, which is Legend. So he is on his outlap, so he will potentially start a flying lap very shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, as I was mentioning with the battle with Scuba, Legend being the man in P5, at the moment on 93 points, he has a 7-point lead to Scuba. Yogi, who unfortunately crashed out at the start of qualifying, does not have a time on the board. He is also in this battle. He's 2 points behind Scuba on 84 points. And obviously Stevie G, his teammate, is also somewhat in this battle, as he is 4 points off Yogi. So NSR Gals being on 106 points, not being here tonight, definitely opens up an opportunity for those 4 drivers to really try and get 4th in the championship. Personally, I think the only people who can get 4th is going to be Legend and Scuba, as we are now on the flying lap with Legend. But who knows what can happen. 20 points needed for these guys to really jump ahead.
Yeah, and I think it'll be an interesting race for Carlsbury, because since Japan, I think it's just gone from one bad race to an absolute nightmare. So he's, as we go back to what we referenced earlier in qualifying, that having a final strong race, he is potentially going to be looking for it tonight. He hasn't got a lap time on the board. He is on an outlap on the soft compound tyre. So he's hopefully going to look for some decent points for the Alfa Romeo team.
Yeah, absolutely. And he is coming back off the back of a decent result tonight. He did get a podium last time out in Brazil. So Carlsbury is capable. We've seen it many times this season where he's looked very good on the pace, but it just falls away from him at the crucial moments in the race. And obviously he managed to get together last week in Brazil to get that podium. Is he going to be able to back it up this time around at Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I think, winning a race under the lights, because it is full lights around the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. I'm just riding on board with Carl. Oh, he's on his outlap. Apologies there. I will go to Yaham, I think, because he's on his flying lap, the Alpha Tauri driver. And I believe both Alpha Tauri drivers did not finish in Brazil, so they're going to want to bounce back as he comes through the second DRS zone. I think the DRS zones tonight will play a quite contributing factor because of where they are. It's technically one, and then a corner, and then you've got slap bang another DRS. So I think they will play into a contributing factor. Well, anyone that's trying to catch CR7, I don't think they will, but anyone behind that, they will.
Yeah, I mean, the DRS obviously being 2 corners apart from each other. Obviously, we've got the chicane separating them.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting because a lot of these guys are going to overtake going down into the chicane, and then the car behind is going to have DRS as Yahan pops up into 6th there on a 36 flat on his medium tyres. But yeah, it's very interesting with the DRS zones here, as you can overtake it going into the chicane and then get re-overtaken on the run down into turn, what was it, turn 9?
I think so, yeah. I'm not quite familiar with the track turn numbers for Abu Dhabi. The problem you've got, though, is with the turn with the second DRS, is it depends on whoever breaks late will get the slot into going into that corner out of the DRS in that second DRS zone, because out of that DRS into that corner can be quite tricky, and you can go wide off the track as you exit that corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just looking at my my handy track map, and I've literally just noticed that it's actually showing the new layout for the Yas Marina circuit, where obviously the chicane at the end of sector 2 after the second DRS straight and the 90-degree left-hander that follows it are no longer a part of the circuit. It's just one swooping corner now, so that alluded to the the layouts that you was talking about earlier with the
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, just still running on board with Carlsbury. Not really one of his most competitive laps. He's a 137.8 on the soft compound tyre, so I suspect this lap he is going to improve that as he's coming through sector 2. So as he comes out of this DRS zone, as you can see, it is a very technical corner. The part he's now just come out of, if you go wide off there, you're going to get a track limit warning, and you potentially could put yourself into the wall. So I think the drivers will have to be careful. And coming through this part here, if you're late on the brakes, you're either going to go off the track and hit the wall, or it's just going to be one of them races, I think, where you're just going to have pure skill.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got Wesker coming to the line now, doesn't improve on his time. We got Carlsbury and Scuba in behind Carlsbury. It's just ahead of Scuba. I'm on board with Scuba right now. As Carlsbury goes up in the P2. That's a big lap there from Carlsbury. Scuba improves by a 10th, but it's not enough. It gets him ahead of Wesker though, and CR7. He's going to start on his medium tyres. He did enough on the mediums, and that is stupid pace.
Yeah, and just to think, CR7 literally did one run on one set of tyres, and they probably won't even be hard to use. So CR7 will take the final pole position in Formula 3 for TTML with a 134.8. And then in second place is Carlsbury, not even 2/10. He is just over 1/10 in second place. Then we've got NLR Dillon taking third. Then we've got Scuba in fourth, Wesker in fifth. Then we've got Yaham in sixth, Legend in seventh, Pauldy in eighth, Stevie G in P9. Then rounded off the top 10. I do apologise if I botched these names. I think I'll let you pronounce her from P10. I don't want to botch it.
Waffles and Yogi.
I didn't want to offend anybody.
It's not difficult.
Well, it is for me. So we are going to head to the race. I'm not quite sure how many laps there are here. I think it's 26, isn't it? Was it 27? I'm pretty sure it's 20. Well, one of us will be right in a minute, as the drivers are going to pick their setups, and they'll already be sorted. It'll be their tyre strategies and their fuel loads for Abu Dhabi. What kind of fuel load would you go for? Would you Would you overfuel the car, or would you reduce the fuel and make it less fuel?
That kind of depends track to track. Obviously, when you're at circuits that DNFs are pretty likely, you want to kind of underfuel the car because the chances of the safety car is going to be there. But if a safety car doesn't come out, you have to do some fuel saving. So on merit, I would put in at least half a lap over.
Yeah. So you were correct. It is 28 laps, should I say, of the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi, and I will hand you over to my commentator colleague, Ivor, Bryn, Mike, for what will be the formation lap, and then we'll have lights out, and it will be for the season finale in CTML Formula 3.
Yeah, and obviously outside the top 10, we only got two drivers to focus on who had free choice of tyre compound, and it is Waffles and Yogi. I believe a PewDieBoy, he did settle up, didn't he, a PewDieBoy?
He did, but then he retired straight after, I think.
Yeah, so Waffles, Yogi going on set in the mediums. There's the predicted pit stop strategy. It's saying a 2-stop here. Now, the 2-stop versus the 1-stop is very interesting around Abu Dhabi. It's always been interesting because the hard tyres have always been abysmal here. Now, I've not really had much experience when it comes to driving this track since the new patch came out. So yeah. I'm not sure how everything has changed, but from when I was driving it before, the 2-stop was definitely the way to go.
Yeah, so you're saying avoid the hards and maybe do if you're in the soft situation, a soft, medium, soft, or would you do a soft, and then a medium kind of pit stop strategy?
Well, I mean, I would go soft, medium, because the soft tyres, well, yes, they are incredibly quick. They do, at least from what I remember this track, they do kind of wear pretty quickly, whereas the mediums will give you solid amount of laps. However, I have seen it, if I remember correctly, I have seen someone do a soft medium and just do the one stop like that, but I don't think we're going to see that tonight. If we do, fair play to whoever tries it, but you won't catch me doing that, I can assure you.
No, you won't catch me either, as the drivers are now going to end into their starts. I will hand you over to my commentator colleague for race start, and this is the season finale in Yas Marina circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Yep, and here we go for the season finale. We got the 5 red lights under the night light of Abu Dhabi in Yas Marina, Yas Island. And we are underway, and it's a very good start there from CR7. Looks like Dylan in behind also getting a good start, as well as he is trying around the outside of Carlsby. He runs a little bit off track. In behind, there's a lot of side-by-side action going on in behind. What are you seeing going on towards the back end?
At the back, we have a Mercedes who has gone for a spin out of turn 1 and turn 2, and that is Stevie G. We've got quite a bit of battle here, as one of the Aston Martins is going to go round the outside of the McLaren, as they will now come into the straight, and it is Yogi down into P11 with Waffles now up to P10.
Yeah, and Yogi's actually got the straight line speed to breeze past Waffles as we go down into the chicane, and Yogi will get that position. So Yogi now up into P10.
Yeah, as I believe there is a potential fight in the front of the pack. Look at that pack already. Down from CR7 all the way down to, I believe, Yarham. There is now a train. I wouldn't say it's a DRS train because there is no DRS at the moment. But look at the gap they have so far at the moment between the top 6 already.
Yep, and that goes to show what happens when you start battling on the opening lap. The top 6 stayed relatively in line with each other, whereas Legend, Paulie, PewDiePie, and the PewDiePie having a little run, as Paulie's going to try and have a little run on Legend, and Legend's actually into the pit, so it's not going good for Legend here tonight, or Stevie. Advantage in the drivers, I think, swing straight to Scuba, and I believe also AlphaTauri in their little battle for P3 in the championship. And there goes Paulie into the wall, and he's out the race. We just went on board with him, and he is out.
Yeah, a very unfortunate season end there for the Alpine driver of Paulie. I don't think it will cause a safety car, as the drivers are still racing. So, we are back under racing in TTML Formula 3. It's quite interesting that CR7 hasn't managed to pull that much of a gap to Carlsby. He's only around about 6 tenths, and that is coming down now to 4 tenths. Look at the slipstream. I think Carlsby is getting that's now down to 3 tenths. Is he going to go for the move? I don't think he will this lap, but it is getting close. Maybe CR7 has a little bit of a fight on his hands.
Yes, maybe. I can definitely see that Carlsby is using a bit of urge to make sure he does stay in that 1 second window. Because obviously, if he drops out of it, we know CR7, the way he drives, he'll never be seen again. So it is crucial for Carlsby to keep with CR7. You see in this final sector, CR7 has such a good run and is able to get away from the Alfa Romeo driver, and he's now borderline outside of that DRS range, and he's just dropped out of the second now.
Yeah, as CR7 sets the fastest lap on the medium compound tyre with a 1:38. And you can just see Carlsby is dipping over that 1 second. I'm just wondering where the DRS detection. I was just right at the end of that hairpin, so this is going to be quite interesting. Carlsby is over the 1 second. He is now 1.1, so he will not get DRS. So CR7 has got a little bit of breathing room for the moment.
And yeah, that all came through the exit on turn 3 for Carlsby. The understeer that he had, it was just dragging him wide. But let's see how powerful the DRS is as we're on board with Scuba, who is closing in on Dylan. Not going to be close enough to make a move into the chicane, but maybe with the second bite of the cherry, he's going to go again. And Legend's out.
So, sorry to interrupt you there. Yeah, Legend is out, and that's a virtual safety car. So that is one Mercedes gone in this race with TTML. Stevie G now up to P9 with a virtual safety car on lap 3.
Yep, the VSC is out. Legend, there's nothing he can do now. All he can do is sit and wait to see where he's going to end this season. What this does do, though, is it does give the AlphaTauris a fantastic chance to jump ahead of them in the standings and get P3, obviously with one Mercedes driver out of the race. It is looking like it's going to be Red Bull, Aston Martin, AlphaTauri as the top 3 in the constructors. And even when you look at the drivers, obviously CR7 and the Red Bull winning it, Wesker currently in second in the Aston Martin, and then we got the AlphaTauri at Yaham, so it's kind of fitting really, top 3 in both drivers and constructors.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how AlphaTauri handle this now, because obviously they won't want to risk a DNF. They just need to finish the race really to get anything, as DRS has now been re-enabled and we are back under the racing. And Carlsbury always just still 1.2. Now that's up to 1.3 on the gap to CR7. So not a great VSC restart for the Alfa Romeo driver.
No, and once again on board with Scuba, who's in the DRS range of NLR Dylan. He is going to close up going into the chicane once again. This time no VSC to hold him back as he tries to get the traction on the exit. Uses a bit of ERS, opens the DRS. Let's see it, has he got enough to really try and make this move here? He's closing in rapidly. He's going to go to the outside. As Dylan there, he goes deep though, Dylan, and that's going to compromise him in the next couple of corners. And Scuba, he gets on that inside curb, and his absolute heart in mouth moment there for Scuba as he was looking to make the overtake for the final spot on the podium, but that inside curb can be treacherous if you clip it.
Yeah, and I think Scuba is just maybe pushing a little bit too hard, and he's making them mistakes because he has Wesker right behind him, and if this gets into a DRS train, it is going to be quite interesting because Wesker, we know, will want to pass Scuba and maybe get himself P4, maybe a podium to round off what has been a fantastic season for him. Not the championship, obviously the Drivers' Championship that he may have wanted, but to finish P2 against CR7, who has been absolutely dominant this season. I think we all can agree it has been a good good job for the Aston Martin driver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, technically you could say Wesker is leading Formula 3.5 right now. As Scuba
yeah.
tucked in the slipstream, pulls out of the DRS, and he is out up into third. And for Scuba, if he wants to take fourth place, he does need a podium here tonight.
Yeah, so there's still definitely a lot of action still to kind of play out.
Scuba will defend the inside. Dylan going to try around the outside. They're wheel to wheel. A little bit of contact they made with Scuba and Dylan's, who's on board with Wesker. Getting a nice view of this battle. For Wesker, this has got to be a little bit infuriating. Scuba gives a little bit of a weave there. I don't think he was too happy with the contact there with himself and Dylan, and just letting Dylan know. And yeah, for Wesker, this has got to be infuriating because he just can't get ahead of Scuba at this moment in time. And with Scuba battling Dylan, it's just holding him up, and it's allowing Yaham, who is on the medium tyres, to just keep in there, stick with him.
Yeah, I think in Yaham's situation, he may just want to sit there and let these guys in front of him battle, because if they do battle and they do fight, and an incident does happen, he may be on course for a potential podium if these three in front do decide to have a nice little battle. As DRS will now be activated for all the drivers, I believe, as they all now come through the DRS zone down the straight. And is anybody going to go for a move? I don't think they will, as they are all too far back, but they may do in the second DRS zone.
Yeah, and interestingly, I mentioned about the soft tyres dropping off. Look at the gap that CR7 has pulled to Carlsbury in such a short amount of time. And if it wasn't for the DRS range, Yogi would be closing in on this train as well.
Yeah, so the DRS is playing a little bit of a factor here, and as you said, I think the softs won't last much longer.
Look at how quickly Yogi's catching up in this final sector without the DRS.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of free air though. I think that may be also what's hampering the drivers in front of him of Scuba, Wesker and Yarham. They all have got that dirty air in front of them. So that may be a contributing factor, but yeah, as they all now come onto lap 8, so Carlsbury is in.
Yep,
It'll be interesting to see what he goes.
I was going to say confirmed 2-stop there, I think, for Carlsbury, as we should see the yellow wall tyres go on momentarily, and there they are, the yellow wall tyres. And Stevie just overtaken and getting himself up into P8. I mean, for Stevie, this is for Stevie right now. This is bragging rights versus his teammate, like, as I believe that's him around. So I really should mention Mercedes driver, should I? It doesn't go well when I mention him. But for Stevie, this is bragging rights, so saying at the end of the season you were the #1 driver in your team.
Yeah, I think it's just gone to absolute pear-shape for
and there goes
Mercedes.
Beautiful switchback, DRS wide open, and Dylan's going to have absolutely nothing to fight this with. He's going to get overtaken. He could get overtaken by Wesker as well, and he is going to get overtaken by Wesker, but he's going to send it back on the inside. Wesker there pinches himself to the curb, so Dylan had to back out.
Yeah, I think this battle for the podium is an interesting one, as I think Johan is how.
Oh my God! Dylan colliding with Wesker. I'm not sure what happened with Dylan there. If he clipped a curb or something. Wesker furious, and rightfully so. I'm not sure what happened. I think Dylan may have clipped a curb in the double right-hander in the final sector, and he just went absolutely flying, cut straight across the front nose of Wesker, and yeah, Wesker could very well have wing damage, as could Dylan, and I believe Wesker does have wing damage, because look at him, he is under some serious pressure now.
Yeah, and I wonder if Dylan has any floor damage. He has picked up a penalty. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, because we don't see the floor damage, which is the most annoying thing possible, as Dylan is going to get DRS. He is going to close onto the back of Wesker for P4, but I don't think he's going to be close enough in this DRS. He's right on the back, but he doesn't get the move done. He's going to set himself up out of the chicane here for that second DRS zone.
Yeah, absolutely, and now obviously Dylan with this DRS, he's going to get squeezed all the way to the edge of the track. Wesker going to defend hard now as he goes very deep into the corner to really cover him off. Yogi is sitting right behind these guys. I mentioned Yogi catching up. Obviously that incident made it far more apparent that Yogi has caught up, and now let's see. Yep, Dylan does not hit a curb this time, so he doesn't go flying into Wesker, which I think would have caused absolute chaos in the Discord if it happened a second time.
Yeah, I think, as a few are deciding to pit, so that's Scuba in. I wonder if that is kind of a team order thing, as CR7 is leading the race. He won't want to pit just yet. So they've decided to box driver number 2. As some might say, the second driver in the Red Bull car. Oh, as Dylan has gone for a spin, and he is out of the race. That is going to cause, I believe, a safety car. That is. Car. I caught that on my side as well. So unfortunate for Dylan. He came in this season as a reserve and got himself a permanent full-time seat. So well done to him for doing that. But yeah, an unfortunate. As Stevie G gets a drive through, it's turned into an absolute nightmare for the Mercedes team, as we now have, I believe, 10 remain.
We have 9 remaining now, actually. As interesting thing, like Scuba, he pitted. I think he is going to lose out here to Yaham, especially. 20 seconds is the gap. Remember, Scuba was ahead coming into the pits, and believe now he is going to drop behind Yaham, and he could be under pressure from Wesker, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that was bad timing there for Scuba with the SC. It came out just at the wrong time. But yeah, CR7 is now into the pit, so no double stacking for the Red Bull team. As I was just about to mention before, Dylan had his DNF. Oh,
again,
another one. So that's 2 drive-throughs, and I think, it is the race from hell for Mercedes. So yeah, I think it is, as you said, it is going to be AlphaTauri taking that 3rd spot in the constructors.
I mean, that's not counting AlphaTauri out of taking 2nd in the constructors as well at the moment, as we are going to see Scuba now overtake a couple of drivers that are still in the pit lane. He is going to come out behind Yaham though, so there we go. As I said, he is going to lose out to Yaham here.
Yeah, and I think, as you mentioned, AlphaTauri could take P2, and what a season that would be. Both of the Red Bull Academy, the Academy team, which is AlphaTauri, and the main team, which is Red Bull, taking 1st and 2nd in a constructors. I've never seen it really happen before, so yeah, I think that would be quite interesting if a whole kind of like main team and Academy team did take a constructors, but it's still all to play for. Aston Martin are still racing, and so is one lonely Mercedes as well, as we are on lap 10 of 28, 18 laps to go. We are under safety car as Stevie G gets even more further punishment. Yeah, I think that was going to happen. So that rules Mercedes out of a top 3 finish in the constructors for
I mean, it doesn't. What's called Mercedes can still get 3rd, but you would need both Yogi and Yaham to DNF, which obviously that's what they need to stay 3rd. For Stevie and of course Legend, obviously Scuba and Yogi still being in the race means that Legend will probably end up dropping to 7th. PewDieBoy on 59 points, Stevie G on 80. If a PewDieBoy just finishes the race, I believe he'll be pretty close, maybe? Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, Stevie should be fine for the drivers behind him, so he shouldn't really drop any positions in the championship, but yeah, Legend looking to drop 2 spots here tonight, and of course Mercedes dropping off that podium of... Oh, it's CR7 and Carlsbury. 5-second time penalty for
Carlsbury's in the pits. Carlsbury is in the pits, so he's going to drop. And I wonder if he's going to go for another mediums to outpace or try and outsmart CR7 and do that maybe undercut. As you mentioned, the 2-stop strategy may be the more benefiting pit stop. So yeah, CR7 is on the hard compound tyre. Oh, he's getting... Oh no! Have I just seen what I think I've just seen? CR7 had an incident with the safety car and has wing damage. He touched the safety car and his wing is now damaged. So yeah, this is going to be a very awkward restart.
I mean, I'm not sure. Codemaster's given me every single wrong camera angle possible to really take a look at this front wing. I am getting a nice look at the rear end of that safety car though. So I'm just waiting for CR7's camera angle to change so I can have a look at this front wing. Let's see now.
It's on the right
work.
front.
That wasn't any better, Codemasters. Come on.
I think the safety car
Yes,
is in the way.
Missing the end plate.
So right. He's going to be a very... Oh, as the safety car is now going to come in as the lights go out on the Aston Martin safety car. So this is going to be interesting because if he's got that end plate missing, I wonder if Yaham is probably licking his lips thinking, I could take a potential race lead here.
Well, I mean, not only that, like CR7... Obviously, he's got our wing damage. He's on the slowest compound out of all the drivers that remain. He is so disadvantaged right now, and obviously with that 5-second time penalty, which he'll serve in the pits. The question is, can CR7 really fight back here? I mean, I personally think he can. I think he will go on the 2-stop now. I think he was going to go for the 1-stop, but I believe now he'll probably... opt out and switch to a 2-stop, but let's see. Yaham in perfect position to try and take this, and there goes CR7 into the pits immediately, and he's going to drop far down the order, and Yaham gets us underway once again. But we got to look at these guys in behind Wesker, Pewley Boy and Yogi, who are 4th and 5th on the soft tyres.
Yeah, it's now going to be an interesting part of the race, I think. Now we've got the first 10 laps out the way, it's going to be an interesting situation because CR7 isn't the race leader, so the gaps will be, I think, a lot more closer. And we finally get to see, since Brazil, CR7 making some overtakes. It's not him at the front.
Yep, and he's got a long way to go. You see him just coming out the pit lane there. He is over 30 seconds behind Carlsbury. So Carlsbury and CR7 at one point were 1st and 2nd, and now 7th and 8th at the back of the grid.
Yeah, and if you think about it, if Carlsbury can get himself back up the grid, he would potentially have done what he intended to do if he could catch CR7, and that was overtake him. So he's done it in the pits.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously what we're seeing right now, we're seeing Scuba and Yaham break away from Wesker. Wesker is going to be under pressure from those soft tyres in behind for at least a few laps, and Wesker really needs to hook up this final set to get back within the 1-second window. He is just about in there, and yeah, he should be fine now. And obviously we still got another 2 laps before DRS gets re-enabled, so Yaham and Scuba once again have to try and break Wesker out of that 1-second window.
Yeah, I think this is where Yaham needs to strike while the iron is hot. In this situation, he needs to create that gap from Scuba. He's on touching distance of getting over that 1 second, but yeah, I just think he may just need to kind of put his foot down and not worry about what's behind him and just focus on the race that's in front of him, because he is in first now. He can potentially get a race win for himself if he plays this right.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously this is very big in terms of the points that Yaham's gonna get. Obviously there's a sliver of hope that he may be able to jump Wesker, but realistically he would need Wesker to DNF at this point to really jump him with the limited drivers we have here tonight. And he has managed to drop Scuba out of that 1 second window. But what this does do, it does make AlphaTauri that much closer to Aston Martin in the constructors, because right now as it stands, Yaham's already taken 10 points out of Wesker.
Yeah, so I think the main battle here might be for Yogi on that McLaren. He needs to potentially get past him to get even more points. It seems like CR7 has dropped to the back of the grid and given everyone a free points this evening.
I just want to say, he's only taken 5 seconds out of the back of this grid.
Jeez. I think a lot of these drivers would be like, phew, thank God that season's over. As he is just an insane pace. As look at that, he sets the fastest lap of a 1:37.2 as Yogi will get DRS. This will be quite interesting because, as you had the same issue, I've got the worst camera angle possible.
There goes Calvary on Waffles, and that's big, obviously, with if Waffles drops points to Yogi, it kind of extends as PewDiePie getting through on Wesker, so that's also big. PewDiePie getting ahead of the Aston Martin, both Aston Martins losing a position respectfully in the middle sector here, and now Yogi all over the back of Wesker.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting. Not really many drivers picking up any penalties, so wherever they finish, maybe their final position. Obviously, we don't know what the stewards will, if there is any, penalise after. But yeah, this is going to be a very key battles now between the drivers. Oh, Wesker picks up a 3-second time penalty. Don't tell me I've given him the commentator's curse, and he will now potentially drop behind quite a few drivers, I believe, if he doesn't get any further up. Oh no, Wesker has now had massive understeer, and look at Carlsbury. He is right on the back of that AlphaTauri as they come through turn 2 and 3 down into, which I believe is turn 4, and I think Yogi is now going to feel the pressure, and I think Wesker is as well. As it looks like Carlsbury, he's gone late on the brakes, and he's going to go for the move already before the DRS, and he's going to battle side by side as they go into the DRS zone. It's
going to be through wide.
They're going to make it through wide. Look at the power and the pace that Carlsbury has.
And Yogi has somehow come out on top there. Yeah, so what I was going to say, before obviously Yogi and Carlsbury just overtook, as here goes Carlsbury through on Yogi. We'll see if Wesker can get back through. I think it's just a little bit too far back. Yeah, so the points that the teams are picking up. Going into this race, there was a 22-point gap between AlphaTauri and Aston Martin. And just going to bring up the points right now. As it currently stands, with Yogi in 5th picking up 15 points and Yaham in the lead picking up 30. That's 45 points gained for the AlphaTauris. And Wesker and Waffles 6th and 7th. And Waffles now with a 3-second time penalty as well. It's going to be 27 for them. So the points right now is saying that Aston Martin just about going to do it. And
Carlsbury's out!
That's intentional. That's intentional. That is 100% intentional there from Carlsbury. I do not want to hear anything about it. I just saw it on stream. That was intentional. He just drove straight on.
Yeah, and that is going to cause a safety car.
And that brings CR7 back into the race. So just when everyone had a glimmer of hope that CR7 wasn't going to win this race, Carlsbury has just dashed their hopes.
Yeah, and as you said, I think I will agree with you on that one. Very stupid to do that. Was doing a fantastic recovery drive. Yeah, very stupid on that one.
Yep, and the question is now, does everyone jump into the pits? Because the mediums will definitely go to the end from this point. If I was any of these drivers, I'd be boxing for the mediums, especially a PewDiePie and Yogi.
Yeah, I think in this situation, if he was on the softs, I would make a pit stop, I think, because you're going to be at a much more advantage because of how powerful the mediums are.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's this race. I mean, we got 7 runners left. Everyone's gonna peel off, and oh no, Yogi's staying out. Yogi, what have you done? Yogi has stayed out. I think Yogi's thrown away a chance of picking up second in the constructors.
Yeah, it is going to be currently an AlphaTauri 1-2, but I don't think that's going to last very long.
No, I personally, I think Yogi has thrown away an opportunity of second in the constructors for AlphaTauri by staying out there. But what this does do, as once again, I'm going to go back to my handy little points table by here. Obviously, with CR7 going to be bunched on right onto the back of Wesker and Waffles, he's going to jump them on pens regardless. Wesker and Waffles, Wesker currently in 5th. It's clear that Yogi is just going to let Yaham go. So let's say Yaham wins, Wesker, I think will come 6th, so that's 16 points swing there in favour of Yaham. Is not going to be enough. But
yeah, and just an update on the Carlsbury situation. Apparently his wheel disconnected. Yes, so I think that will go to the stewards, I think, just to clarify up that situation. But yeah, just as you were saying.
Right now, obviously it's not enough for Yaham. Even if Wesker finishes 7th here, he's got second in the championship in the bag. So the only thing that was really on the line here was obviously second in the constructors, which has just been, I think, destroyed by Yogi staying out. He's gonna have to pit this lap, and he is gonna pit this lap. So yeah, Yogi coming into the pits, he is gonna drop behind everyone and come out in last place. He will have 1 lap fresher tyres though, and obviously with both Aston Martins having a 3-second time penalty, he might be able to stick with them and jump on. But what he's just done, he's essentially just given away track position.
Yeah, and that's very key around this sort of track as well.
And
so
CR7 pitted as well. I think CR7 wants to be at the back so he can try and carve his way through.
Yeah.
Well, we are on lap 18 of 28. Everyone on a set of soft tyres. Yaham is currently leading the way, Boy in 2nd, Scuba in 3rd, Wesker in 4th, Waffles in 5th, Yogi in 6th, and CR7 in 7th place. As it currently stands, Aston Martin will take 2nd in the constructors, Wesker will take 2nd in the drivers, confirmed, and from what I see, looking at the standings now, Yogi and Scuba both going to jump Legend. In fact, Scuba right now on course to jump NSR Giles to get himself into 4th place in the drivers, which really are the only battles that's actually going on in the drivers, to be fair.
Yeah, and I think this safety car is not helping any of them people. Oh, safety car is now in.
Actually, I just noticed. Yeah, PewDiePie's on 59 points, and he does have the opportunity. If he can stay on this podium, he'll be the same points as Mad Jonas. If he stays 2nd, he'll jump ahead of Stevie. So PewDiePie can go from 11th in the championship up to 8th. So PewDiePie could climb himself into the top 10 here with a good result.
Yeah, and I think that will do him nicely, as I believe he is a reserve driver to finish in the top 8. Can't complain there. As we are the Yaham in the AlphaTauri who will get us back underway. He will now become the safety car as he bunches up the pack, and we will get back under racing in TTML F3 for the season finale in Abu Dhabi as they now get back under racing.
Yeah, absolutely. As CR7 makes immediate progress and getting past Yogi on the restart. Are we surprised? I don't think we are at this point. It is CR7, the F3 champion, but Hapuli Boy did well to really match Yaham on that restart. He didn't get dropped by him, but he does have Scuba now all over his rear wing, which is definitely going to cause Hapuli Boy a little bit of bother. Wesker and Waffles line the stern in 4th and 5th. And yep, CR7 is directly behind Waffles. He's going to do it again. He's going to get 2 in this lap. Tucked right into the slipstream. He's going to go around the outside. CR7 with a overtaken championship, a championship worthy drive for tonight. He is absolutely on a roll, and he is up into P5 already, and now he looks at the back of Wesker.
Yeah, and I think this is just CR7 proving his pace, proving why he is the Formula 3 Drivers' Championship. Oh, as I thought Yaham was going to have a spin then. He isn't. He is still the race leader. He is doing a superb job at the moment, but I think it won't be long before we see CR7 maybe on the back of him. He's got 4 cars to get through, but with his pace, I think anything is possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And CR7, he is all over the back of Wesker. You do feel like it's a matter of time before he gets through, as he gets such a good run through 2 and 3. And Wesker now, instead of looking ahead of him at Scuba, he's looking behind it. You have a Red Bull, and here goes CR7 down the inside of Wesker into the hairpin. Doesn't quite work off, but he will tuck into the slipstream and get the toe coming down the straight, as we got Scuba looking to make a move on Hapuli Boy up ahead. Wesker there moves defensively to CR7. CR7's going to lunge it down the inside. Is he going to be able to do it? A little bit of contact wheel to wheel as they bang tyres, but CR7 up into P4.
Yeah, and I think the 2 Aston Martins may just be in a very difficult situation because they both have a penalty and Yogi is not that far off. So Yogi could be looking at a net P5, which would give AlphaTauri a nice haul of points.
It's not enough though.
No, but points is points at the end of the day.
You are right, points is points, but yeah, in terms of the constructors, obviously Yaham and Yogi, if Yogi can keep with the 2 Aston Martins, and of course Yaham takes the win, that's a nice little 45-point gain for the AlphaTauris, whereas the Aston Martins will be gaining, I believe, 27, so they gain 18 points. 18 points on the Aston Martins, and the gap is currently 22. So yeah, I mean, right now, as long as Waffles and Wesker finish, they got 2nd place locked up in the constructors.
Yeah, as we have 7 laps remaining of the season finale in Abu Dhabi, and 7 laps for the final race of the season, as they will now come down the, I would say the back straight, but it's not really the end of the lap at the moment. Oh, Yogi, I think, is gone. No, he hasn't. He looked to be, but he backed out of that. He is going to get DRS on Waffles, I believe, but is going to be too far back, as it looks like CR7 is now going to go for the overtake of the McLaren driver and gets himself up to the podium. So it's Red Bull P2 and P3. It's not like they need the points, but sheer dominance doesn't harm.
Well, here's the thing though, obviously CR7 definitely has the pace to overtake his teammate and get onto the back of Yaham, but does CR7 back up Yaham so Scuba can overtake him? Because obviously Scuba finishing third, he will be tied on points with NSR Gals, and obviously Scuba would like to have the actual points lead and not just be ahead. I believe he'll be ahead on races 1. I'm not sure. I can't remember if Gals has won a race. I'm not sure. Gonna be intriguing, but I think CR7 may, if he gets ahead of Scuba here, he may just back Yaham into Scuba to get him a 1-2.
Yeah, this is now in Red Bull's hands, as CR7 will get the DRS. His teammate is going to make way for him, and that promotes CR7 now up into P2 on this recovery drive, as he will now start to battle with Yaham, and CR7 is already in DRS range. He's 3/10 behind. Look at the pace he has on them, more fresher.
He go to the outside. Yaham defends though, but for how much? Oh my god, what a move! Lovely little switch back there from Yaham. Mid chicane, contact made, and CR7 is around.
So unfortunate there for the Red Bull driver, but this still does leave Scuba in this race lead fight, as he is round about 3 or 4 tenths behind. So next DRS zone, I wouldn't be surprised if Scuba does go for it.
Yeah, Scuba in prime position to get this this overtake done. I'm just thinking now, what's going to happen. Obviously, Yaham does appear to be quicker than Scuba in this first sector, even though Scuba has actually got a decent run this time. So this is what Scuba needs. He needs good runs here through these corners, and he is going to be about 6 tenths back. See what the exit is like, and that's a brilliant exit from Scuba. Half a second back. He should have enough with DRS to close up. I don't think Scuba's going to make the move into the chicane. In fact, he is actually going to make the move. No, he's going to tuck back in behind. That's smart from Scuba, as Yogi's just gotten through on Wesker, and Yogi now up into P5. This is the moment where Scuba takes the race lead. So I don't believe he's got DRS. No, he hasn't. He doesn't even have DRS. I wonder why Scuba didn't have DRS then.
No, I'm trying to figure that out myself. As
does he have a DRS radio?
I think he might have. I haven't ever seen it before in League Racing, but yeah, he didn't activate that DRS, and it didn't show up that he was battling either.
Yeah,
well,
this is a weird one. If Scuba has a DRS video, Hepuli Boy is going to be the man to keep an eye on. As we got CR7 already on the back of Wesker again. He did it before, he's going to have to do it all over again. And he just has that pace where he can do it. Waffles, that's actually been released by his teammate and has a 2-second gap, and he's actually pushing to get in this DRS range, and he is just about in it. So Waffles could be towed along, which could drag him out that 3-second window from Yogi.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very interesting final 4 laps. Can Yaham hold off that very fast Red Bull? As Yaham is now going to have to defend because Scuba is within that DRS range. Yeah, I think you are right. Oh no, he has got DRS. He's now activated it.
Maybe
so
they
he
were
has
just
got
maybe they were side by side on the activation points and neither of them got it.
But he's still not close enough. He still cannot get past Yaham.
Yeah, but that's not really the issue for Scuba. I think what Scuba is doing, he's playing it smart. He's sticking behind Yaham, saving up his ERS, and he's going to do it on either the penultimate or the final lap. But the issue is, Hepuli Boy is probably not going to wait around for that.
Yeah, as CR7 promotes himself up to P6 after his spin. He's on that recovery drive. He's got 4 laps left to get past anybody. So it's going to be a very interesting end of the race, as we have now 3 laps left of this season finale in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, and Yaham gets an 8/10 gap through sector 1. And I mentioned it with Waffles getting into that DRS range. He did pull a bit of a gap to Yogi, and we're going to see that gap actually fly up now with DRS down this back straight. If Waffles starts battling with a PewDiePie, which it does look like he's going to try and do, this could end up costing him in the long run. Side by side, PewDiePie going to try and fight it. Oh, he can't get the line that he wanted there.
Is the McLaren driver going to come back at him? No, he's not, as Waffles gets himself up to P3, but he has got a 3-second time penalty, so he's technically going to have to create that gap within 3 laps.
Yeah, and with DRS it shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, the gap is, what is it, 2.7 between Waffles and Yogi right now. The issue for Waffles is he's getting himself in this battle. He's obviously not going to be in it after the penalty is applied to him. But what is going to happen is he's going to battle, and he's potentially going to lose time, which means he will end up getting jumped by Yogi.
Yeah, 2 laps left in this race.
3.
It doesn't feel... Oh, well, 3 should I say.
Lap 26, 27 and 28. Come on,
yeah, I can't count. My maths
it's
is...
end of the season. End of the season, that's it. All the mistakes come out.
Even the commentators are making mistakes. So, it is going to be an interesting, I think, end to the race, because, obviously, what you mentioned. 2 drivers have penalties, which is the 2 Aston Martin drivers. I just wonder if Scuba is just really now going to try and close that gap up to Yarham. He just doesn't seem to be getting him down the straights. He can get him into the corners, but he just can't get him in the straights. And I think that's where Waffles comes in, who can now close the gap up to Scuba.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, Scuba has been saving his ERS. I want to make that clear. Scuba could have got past a long time ago, but he's been saving up his ERS. Obviously, we're going to be going on to lap 27 to 28 very shortly. Scuba is going to pounce either on this next lap or the final lap. Make no mistake about it. The question is, what does Waffles do? How does Waffles play a part in this?
It is definitely going to be a fantastic lap 27 and 28, because Waffles can do something, but it's what does he do?
CR7's already on the back of Yogi once again. In fact, CR7 is in position to jump Waffles. That's the pace of CR7's at. Yeah,
I think he will be definitely an F1 or F2 next season.
Yaham has got himself almost out of DRS range altogether. I'm not sure if he has got himself completely out of DRS range, but we'll wait and see. No, as Scuba once again, he's 8 tenths behind, but he's not going to be close enough. And here comes Waffles. Waffles using absolutely everything. Is he going to try it on Scuba? No, he's not. Not this time. As Scuba, he needs to make this move on Yaham relatively soon, and he is using his ERS now. Yaham is going to be a sitting duck, as here goes Scuba to the outside, and he'll get it done. And here goes Waffles as well. Waffles trying to get the move done as well, and Yaham and Waffles side by side as they go through the chicane. Contact made between them. Waffles off track. A PewDiePie sitting in behind now, and the question is, does Yaham have the pace to get back ahead of Scuba on this final lap? That's going to be the question, as I believe Yaham there. Oh, a big old snap. I'm not sure if he got tapped in the rear. It did look like he went a bit deep, and this is actually just gifted Scuba the race win, I think.
Yeah, as they will now come on to what will be the final lap of the final race in TTML Formula 3 for Season 5, I believe it is.
Yep.
And we are going to potentially go out with an absolute fantastic end to the race, as Scuba is your race leader for the Red Bull Racing team. Then we've got currently MP2 holding on by a thread, some might say. We've got Yaham, the AlphaTauri driver. Then we've got TTT Waffles with a 3-second penalty, so he will drop down the order. Then we've got the McLaren driver in 4th place. Then we've got CR7, the Formula 3 Drivers' Champion. Fantastic.
If CR7 overtakes a purely boy, he's on the podium. I just want that to sink in, guys. He's had a spin and he's come back. And if he overtakes one driver, he's on the podium. And Sapuli Boy goes down the inside of Yaham. And Yaham goes very deep. And here comes CR7. He's going to get 2 for the price of 1. CR7, absolute masterclass with a double overtake there. But Sapuli Boy's not giving up. He's trying to fight back here as they get very close to contact. CR7 going to try and hang it around the outside. He takes a tight line on the inside. And he's going to look for the move, similar to what he tried earlier on. But he doesn't manage to pull it off. A PewDiePie gets onto that curb slightly, and CR7 is going to have to tuck in behind the McLaren. But is he going to try it around the outside? He is going to actually stick his nose around the outside. Can't get the move there though, as Scuba up ahead is going to come through to take the victory. Waffles will come home in second, but he will drop that position due to the 3-second time penalty. How far does he drop though? Time will tell. Scuba picks up the win here with a PewDiePie in second, CR7 in third, Yaham and Yoki 4th and 5th, Waffles in 6th, and obviously Wesker there at the back in 7th place. And I mean, what can we say about that season finale? The in-game driver of the day goes to a PewDiePie. Honestly, I kind of have to give it to CR7 again. It's a boring pick again, but the guy spun and came back through the field at the end. He did it twice.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to go with the other Red Bull driver, which is your race winner for tonight, which is Scuba. He didn't make any mistakes at all, and he got the race win that he wanted. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for TTML Formula 3 this season. It's been an absolute privilege and an absolute pleasure to be able to commentate over such a fantastic tier and to work alongside the iconic Welshman that is Ivor Bryn Mike. If there was one moment or one race that you'd pick out of this season, what would be your moment of the season?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here, but I have a memory like a goldfish. I ain't going to remember everything. But what I can do is take you through a quick rundown of the final results. It is Scuba who takes victory ahead of a PewDiePie in second place, CR7 in third with the fastest lap, Yaham in fourth, Yogi in fifth, Waffles in sixth, and Wesker the final finisher in 7th place. Our non-finishers tonight were, of course, Carlsbury, Stevie G, NLR, Dylan, Legend, and Paul D. And in terms of something to talk about, CR7 to F1, should we talk about it? I think we should. Put everywhere you see hashtag CR7 to F1. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, it's been an absolute banger of a season. We've had overtakes, we've had new race winners, and we've also crowned a driver's champion and a constructors champion. Congratulations to both of the champions from the drivers championship and the constructors. And we will be back tomorrow for Formula 4 and Formula 5. Myself and TTG Conti will take you through the action in Formula 4, where we go to the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi for the Formula 4 season finale on League Racing TV. If you did like this stream and you do like the racing in TTML and also any of the other videos or streams from League Racing TV, then do hit that like button and do subscribe. Also, don't forget to turn on that notification bell. But I'll hand you over to my colleague in the comms booth.
So We are going to be ending the season here tonight. Of course, CR7, the Formula 3 champion, Red Bull, the Constructors champion, and we'll be interested to see what happens in 2 weeks' time, where we will be back once again to start off season 6. And it's going to be interesting to see who goes up, who goes down, where everyone will be relative to where they currently are at. But it's been an absolute pleasure to bring the action this season. And until next season, guys, I've been Mike, he's been Storm Kings, and we'll see you next time.